This episode is brought to you by the shows of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. Whether it's true crime or film reviews, even TV series deep dives, the You Run Podcast Network has you covered. So go and check out yourunpodcast.com today. I am going with a fact this week instead of a joke.
I bet it's got some sort of connotation to it, though.
No. Pollen is plant semen, so allergies are actually sexually transmitted diseases. You're welcome.
See what I mean?
What?
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But
Hello, and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And this will be Mark's last episode before he becomes a father again.
Well, yeah, kind of. We maybe. I don't know.
Should we break the fourth wall and explain how this works? So,
Yeah.
The last episode me and Mark recorded together, which was like 3 minutes ago, was Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Which you listened to 4 weeks ago. And when we recorded Beetlejuice, Mark's wife was ready to have a baby any day now. So
Yes.
when you're listening to this, Mark will already be the father of a potentially 4 or 5 week old child.
Possibly, yes, unless she goes like massively over by like a month and a half. I will be a dad again. Yeah, scary, man. Scary. It's any day now. Any day I'm ready to catch that thing.
What is really scary? Like, do you want to share the story of how you're doing this? Because honestly, it terrifies the fucking life out of me. How you are bringing this child into the world worries me beyond belief.
Shows how little faith you have in me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I want to share it? Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, we're having a home birth. We're not going to the hospital. We're just doing it all unnatural at home. And I'm
Mark with a catcher's mitt.
Doctor Stethoscope, Mark, podcaster, Doctor Podcaster for the birth of my baby. It'll be fine. Fine. I'm a practical dude. It'll be great. I'm sure I can manage. But yeah, we had a real awful experience with the hospital the first time around when we had my first daughter, Margot.
Yeah, you did.
And we just came to the conclusion that fuck it. Let's just do it ourselves. Let's have it at home. Let's not necessarily go to the hospital. We don't need the hospital. It's fine. People are very reliant on hospitals these days, but 20 years ago, people used to have home births all the time. So yeah, it'll be fine. I'll manage.
I'm going to say it to you, like, full respect. Like, you have got balls of steel, because there is not enough money in the world for me to deliver a baby at home on my own. Like, when Lisa gave birth to our last one, she gave birth to Ocean. I was a fucking emotional wreck. I couldn't even stand straight, let alone stand there and catch. And like, no, just absolute no.
Yeah, no, man, I'm all for it, and I think it's the best decision for us as a family to do it the way that we're doing it, and yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, man. It'll be fine. People have babies at the side of the road and shit all the time. I'm sure I could do it in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. And also, it's good because you could record an episode straight after the baby's born because you don't need to come home from the hospital. You're just there.
Exactly. I'll already be at home. Podcasting gear will already be set up. Don't worry, guys. You're not going to miss a week. I'm still going to be here.
If everything goes to plan, Mark will be here next week, which I'm sure he will. And yeah,
definitely will be.
Full kudos to you because, man, I couldn't do it. Like, not in a million years.
Yeah, it'll be sound, man. Don't worry. I've got power tools and shit. We'll be all good.
If you're new to the show, this is not a show about giving birth. This is our horror movie review podcast where we talk about horror movies that you voted onto the show. This week you voted on a doozy, but we'll talk about that in a minute. you need to follow us on Instagram. We're at You Run Podcast on Instagram, X. We're everywhere. Just pick one, follow us. Instagram is the best one, though, because that's where you can vote on the movies that appear in future episodes. That's also where you can follow the social media inept Mark, who's only on Instagram, and he is at Reviews from the Crypt, where he reviews horror movies, and he is at VHS from the Crypt, where he shows an eye-wateringly expensive and extensive VHS collection with brilliant lighting and props that he buys to go with his VHS.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram when I can be asked. I'm always on the VHS page, but reviews, man, when I can be asked. I reviewed Terrifier 2 like 5 weeks ago, and I'm saying that now because it's probably nothing else since.
Well, you never know. Those hours while you're waiting for your wife to give birth and she's walking around the front room going, like you might be able to sit there and knock out a couple of reviews while she does that.
Possibly so. You might see a massive influx of reviews coming in the next couple of weeks purely based on that.
We'll know how long the labour was based on how many reviews Mark posted. You can get in touch with the show as well. Send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or send us an audio DM. You can do that on X and Instagram. Go to where you send a message, hold the microphone button down and speak, and we'll play those on the air. We are running a competition at the moment from now until Christmas. If you leave us a 5-star written review on Apple Podcast or a 5-star review on Spotify, screenshot it and send it to us in a DM, you'll be entered into a draw to win 3 pieces of merchandise from our store. If you've already reviewed the show, which lots of you have, all you need to do is comment on a Spotify episode. And every time you comment, you'll get an entry into the draw. So if you comment on every episode between now and Christmas, that's 10, 12 episodes. You'll get that many entries into the draw. And first episode back in the new year, we will pick the winner. They can pick 3 pieces of merchandise, anything they want from our store, and we'll send it to you completely free. Which is awesome.
Yeah, can't say better than that.
Yeah. How the show works is we give you a synopsis of the movie. We tell you what we liked, what we didn't like. We don't go in any particular order. We pick pivotal points. We don't talk over boring bits and bits that are just irrelevant. We just give you the meat. We don't give you the balls. We give you the meat. The bit.
What a weird analogy for a podcast.
Yeah, it was the first thing that popped in my head, and I don't know why.
But why is that the first thing that pops into your head?
It might be because of if anyone's not listened to the Beetlejuice episode, it might be because of this.
You're the wanker, mate, if anyone is.
But it's still fresh in my mind. I'm never going to get that out of my head. We also give you some facts. We have a game today, which we've not had for ages, and it's a really fun game for Mark's last episode. It's a game that has no end. So we're going to play this until it is no longer funny. And we may be here.
I'm terrible at these games. If it's like a word association game, I swear I'm borderline dyslexic. So like I'm going to struggle.
No, you'll be absolutely fine with this. We give you roundups and scores, and then we let you get on with your day. Today we have a treat for you. This turned out that it wasn't a first watch for me, but I have not seen this movie since I was single digits in age. So a long time ago, and I couldn't remember anything about this apart from it had a talking plant. Seymour is a florist with a passion for strange plants. When he discovers a plant he's never seen before in the middle of an eclipse, he buys it. Little did he know that this plant would not only make him a celebrity, but also make him a murderer. Where do you want to kick off with this? Like, I've got so much to say on this movie.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be more of a you-centric episode in terms of your love for this movie than mine. Let's start with the obvious. Let's talk about the music for this film. Obviously, it's a musical. What are some of your favourite songs throughout? What are the biggest standouts? Yes, that is without question my favourite.
That is the crowning jewel on this, and the bit when he gets further through and he goes into
the back end of it. I prefer the back half of it than I do the first half. The first half is the more iconic that people instantly associate with this film, but the second half of that song is so far superior, in my opinion.
I haven't got it in facts, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. You know when he does the rap, it is the same beat and rhythm that they used in South Park for, hey, everybody, have you seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown. And
Oh, really?
honestly, it fucking broke me when I realized this time. I was dying with laughter that's where South Park ripped that from. But yeah, song-wise, that and The Dentist. The Dentist is incredible. Like the casting in this movie is outstanding.
Oh, impeccable, impeccable. I mean, you've got Steve Martin. I always forget the guy from Cool Runnings' names, and I should know better because he's legendary.
John Candy.
John Candy. There you go.
Yeah.
I should know instantly that's John Candy. But yeah, you've got John Candy, you've got Steve Martin, you've got the dude from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Again, I should know his name.
Rick Moranis. You've
Rick
also
Moranis,
got,
and I love Mick Moranis unconditionally. So the fact that I stumbled on his name then is embarrassing for me. Do you know
we've
what was
also
the
got
biggest?
dude from Ghostbusters is in this. Do you know his name?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
No, Bill Murray. Bill Murray's in this as well.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, you've also got Cat from Red Dwarf as one of the backing singers at the beginning. And as soon as I saw him on this latest rewatch, I was like, oh, holy shit. That's Cat from Red Dwarf. What is he doing in this?
Yeah, like honestly, casting in this is fabulous. I love the way that at no point do they try to make this a movie. Like this is a stage musical that they've not added additional scenes of dialogue to drag it out. They've literally gone, we're going to take this stage musical and we're going to put it on the big screen. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all they've done. And
they address that perfectly with the set design. The set design is a theatre production throughout. And I really appreciate it for doing that.
And the set design is incredible. Like it looks
so cool.
So good. So good.
Yeah. And you get that. You get the painted backdrops. One of the biggest things that I love about Hellraiser 2, I always talk about it, and even the older movies like fucking the original Dracula and Nosferatu. Like I love the painted backdrops from movies. And this one does it very, very well. Even though, like, I know it's trying to represent a stage production with the like rolling sets and things like that, but it just looks so good in here, and it provides a fantasy world that you feel more invested in than you would had you got something CGI like you do these days in movies. Like if they'd have done a remake of Little Shop of Horrors now, it would all be green screen shit, and it just wouldn't hold the same level of charm and authenticity to it that this movie does. I don't think.
You say about a remake. If there was a remake of this, 100% I would cast Samuel L. Jackson as Audrey 2.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd go Morgan Freeman.
No, just for the fact that Audrey 2 in the original version of the song does say motherfucker, it's got to be Samuel L. Jackson.
Which brings me to my point, actually. Have you seen the original with Jack Nicholson?
No.
So this is a remake of a stage production. I own both copies of it. In fact, let me grab them just for showcase purposes.
Yeah, I've never seen the Jack. I didn't even know there was a Jack Nicholson one, and I'm talking to myself. Anyone who's just listening, because Mark has taken his headset off.
I realised that doesn't translate very well to podcasting material.
Yeah, I was just explaining that I'm talking to myself because you've now taken your headphones off.
So that's the original that we're reviewing now, which is iconic. But this is the original with Jack Nicholson.
Wow, when's that from? What year is that?
This is from, where's the date? I can't find it. It's a Roger Corman movie, who you'll most likely know from Trauma Productions and stuff like that. But it's a black and white film. So I think it's still the same. I've not watched it. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend to you that I have. I haven't watched this version of this movie.
I didn't know it existed. And white.
It's the first movie Jack Nicholson was in.
Oh wow!
But yeah. So it's a remake. This is a remake of this, which is a movie version of the stage production. But I haven't watched this.
And if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you now see the reason why you need to go and follow his VHS account, because he's got shit that I didn't even know existed, and you won't either. Also, if you are on YouTube, what you need to do now.
Hey guys, please be sure to leave us a review on Apple or Spotify and subscribe to the damn YouTube. While you are there, hit the notification bell as I have some solo episodes coming up. They will be top 10 countdowns and better than anything these clowns have put out before. Peace out, bitches.
I do like the fact that she's got a little bit sassy as she's got older.
I still don't like her, man. I've still got beef.
Yeah, you wait till the episodes. The episodes, by the time this comes out, her first episode is going to be about a week away. So you wait till you watch her first episode. Honest to God, she's better than I am. Like I've written her dialogue, so it's like me speaking through Gladys. But like I said on a previous episode, it allows me to make videos while I'm sat in the front room, like watching TV with my wife. I can sit there in my pants and no one cares, and I can bring you. My goal is to bring you daily content on YouTube, and that's the only way I can do it. So hey,
Stop encouraging Skynet, man. Just stop it. Stop being a part of the problem.
I am ready for our AI overlords. Like I fully embrace it. It's fine. Like, they could do everything for me, and I'll just sit and watch TV. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you think that's how it's going to work, though, but they're going to harvest your soul for energy like they do in the Matrix. You will be a battery to the AI overlords, and you'll know that you have been a part of their uprising.
Yeah, but you say that the amount that this show has grown and my Instagram, the show's Instagram has grown over the last year, I think I may have accidentally sold my soul to the devil anyway and not realized, because the growth we've had at the moment, thank you everyone who's listed, has been fucking phenomenal. So there's that. Anyway, back to this movie. I want to address something that I found really hard to watch, even though it's done in a comical way, is Steve Martin's character's abuse of Audrey. Like I've got such an issue with it, and like when he's like, "What did you say?" She's like, "Sorry, doctor." I'm like, "Fucking." I'm looking at Steve. My mind's gone, but I'm looking at Rick Moranis going, "Punch him in the throat. I know you're little. Punch him in the throat." Like that sort of stuff just doesn't wash with me at all.
No, but I mean, it's done in a way where you're expecting his character to die. They're setting him up as being the worst of the worst, and Steve Martin plays it fucking brilliantly. I mean, it comes as a shock to me to see this dude with brown hair and not white hair. That was one of the biggest surprises of my life, seeing Steve Martin with hair that's not white. But he's so fucking good in that role. Like, he is so good. His kinky need to inflict pain on other people within his dentistry work is just fucking so wrong on so many levels.
But what makes that so much more wrong is when Bill Murray's his patient and Bill Murray loves it. Like, he's like, "Oh, you're using this one," and he's like putting the he's got like the cotton swabs.
He's so seasoned by going to the dentist that he's putting the cotton swabs in his mouth and getting his own like necktie things out and stuff like that. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, so I had this dentist on Saturday, and then I went to this different one on Sunday, and then this one that I had on Monday, and now I'm here. I'm here with you. I've heard you're the most vicious of them all," sort of thing. And he's like getting off on it. It's the weirdest scene in any movie.
But it is funny. And the bit where he does his song, like the opening of his song, and he's like, "I'm the dentist," and he flicks his arm out and he punches out his receptionist. Like, I was crying. I was like, he just punched his. It's so good. Practical effects in this are arguably the best practical effects in any movie of this time by a country mile.
Yeah. I didn't do my research on this movie like I usually do, and I'm instantly assuming this is a Jim Henson involvement thing.
I'll save it for facts. It is, but it's not.
Right, okay. Yeah, because it feels very Jim Henson in the way that it's done. The whole creation of Audrey 2 is impeccable. Like, the look, the movement, the animatronics, the steady growth of this character is just so fantastic. And it's timeless, man. It's timeless. It still holds up incredibly well to this day. Like, I was watching this and not a single time did I ever think, fucking hell, man, these effects are dated.
Yeah, like even
It
like
still looked great.
yeah, even like the little Audrey 2 when he first gets it, and it's like going when he cuts his finger.
Yeah,
Like even that,
yeah,
it's like, okay, this is really good. And then when it's sucking on his finger, and then like as you say, they do the steady growth. It doesn't go from it's not like an alien movie where it goes from little to huge. You have this
Mm.
period of growth. And I love the fact that they use this as the catalyst to make the florist busier. And what I love
yes,
about this is in that first scene where they put the plant in the window and they get this influx of customers, and you see everyone leave with their flowers. All their flowers are dying because it's
yes,
old stock. And then when you see the next lot of customers, the flowers are better quality. And then the next set of customers, it's like the best florist in the world. And that attention to detail, I'm like, you didn't need to do that because I just don't care. But I really appreciate the fact you done that.
it also explains perfectly why you should support the little guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't go to your big supermarkets. Support your locals because they will produce better quality in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
don't
am
know why I got
fully.
all political there for a moment, but
Yeah, there is a reason you've done
You're the
it.
wanker, mate, if anyone is.
fuck off, man.
Yeah, like that whole growth of the shop is fabulous. I love the fact that I love all the press junkets where like he goes to the radio station and it, show and tell on the radio is the most ridiculous thing ever. And he's sat in that waiting room. You've got a guy who's got like this weird instrument that's like strapped to his head and like under his arms.
Yeah.
And then
But
they
that's
go
how
in and
it
sit.
was back in the day. That's what it was. It was like a freak of the week kind of thing on radio.
Yeah, but how does that work? Like you're showing something to the host, and the host is like, "That's really cool." Everyone at home, no clue whatsoever what's going on.
Yeah, I've just demonstrated it perfectly when I've just showcased my VHS collection of The Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, exactly. Like that worked great for anyone who watched that on Spotify or anyone who watched that on YouTube. Anyone who listened on Apple Podcasts went, "Well, that's great because I can't see that." Which means if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review there and then head to YouTube and watch the video. Like that whole segment, like the press as well, I love. And I love the fact that Audrey wilts when he doesn't feed him enough.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's a great attention to detail. It really is in terms of how this plant relies on certain things. And I say it in a way that probably sounds very mundane, but the way it's translated on screen is so well done that you can't help but feel empathy for the plant, given that
Yeah.
it's a killer plant and all the rest of it. But like it showcases it very well, like you have a great understanding for its purpose without having to simplify it the way that the story probably requires it to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And like the way that Audrey 2 convinces Seymour to go and kill the dentist is amazing. He's like, I need blood. It must be fresh. She's like, what do you want me to do? It's when he goes, what do you want me to do? Slip my wrist. And Audrey goes, hmm. He's like, well, I'm not doing that. He's like, oh, he basically goes, you need to kill someone. He's like, I couldn't do that. There's no one who deserves that. And he like uses his vines to push him to the window to watch the dentist, like almost
Slap
throw Audrey in the
Audrey.
door and then like hit her about. And he's like, yeah, that's the guy. And the shadow work they use in this. So they
Yeah,
show
really effective.
Steve Martin hit Audrey is done like backlit through a blind, so you can't see it, but you can see the shadow of it. And then they mirror that when he goes in and shoots him, and then he takes him, he brings him back to the shop, and Audrey's like, "No, you need to cut that shit up. I ain't eating that hole." And then he takes
Yeah,
it
which
down
was
the back
weird.
alley.
Why would he not eat that whole?
I think it was more of a control thing for Audrey too. It's like, yeah, I've got you to kill someone. Can you cut it up as well? I think
Yeah.
it was more that.
Like a toddler does.
Kids are honest. Anyone who's not got children will do, like my daughter's 6. She can cut up her own food. She can eat with a knife and fork. If she thinks she can get me to cut up her food, she'll make me do it.
She will. Yeah.
Because she's like, Oh, I'm feeling a bit tired. Could you cut up my food? And if I say yes, she's like, yes, I win. Which is why I never say yes. I am the Mr. No. Like, no, not doing that.
Oh, you
No.
see, I'm a different dad to you, man. I have a daughter. She's the apple of my eye. If she tells me to jump, I say how high. I literally, honestly, it's pathetic, pathetic in my house. And my wife tells me off for it all the time. She's like, "Why do you do it? Why do you do it?" I'm like, she's just adorable.
Yeah, I spoil my daughter horribly because I want when she gets a boyfriend and he doesn't spoil her like anywhere near as much as me, I want her to go, "You're not good enough for me. Goodbye."
Yeah,
That's my mentality.
my daughter will never. She told me the other day that she wants to marry me, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Like not in like a weird way, but like if that's
I
how I
well
can
that,
see
that
where your mind went with that analogy right there.
yeah,
But
just made me go. Are you sure? Like that's what you want to broadcast out to the world?
considering it's my daughter and I'm the dad, I never even went to that place. I just
No,
saw it
you
as like the
didn't.
most
Yeah,
sweetest thing in the planet, and you just took it to a level that I can't go back from. So thank you for
yeah. I'm really sorry. Obviously, you don't want to marry your daughter in that way. And
that.
my daughter said that to me as well. Like, I'm going to marry you. She quite often says she's going to marry her brothers, and I know she's probably going to marry some UFC fighter who is going to hurt me if I tell him not to be horrible to her. Um, like the killing is great. I love the fact the way that Audrey eats the people. Like the attention to detail in Audrey 2's mouth is like way over the top. Not required.
Yeah, no, no, but it looks
Not
fantastic. It looks so cool. And again,
it
like
does.
it's not perfect. Like it's really
No.
not perfect, but it's the same way that like do you remember those no, I say remember, like everybody remembers the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. The
Yes.
costumes for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's not brilliant, but it's a nostalgic level of quality that you look upon and be like, ah, man, that's so fucking good. It's not. It's not great. It's not very realistic in the slightest. And I think Audrey 2 is executed in the same way, where you look upon it and you're like, yeah, it's not Peter Jackson level practical effects quality, but it holds that level and that era of nostalgia where you watch it and you're like, oh man, I love this so much. It's so good and it's faultless for what it is.
Yeah, and you bringing up the turtles, I've got a story about the turtles. So Jack watched the newer digitized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, and I done the dad thing with no, 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 no. You want to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and Turtles 3, where they go back in time to Japan.
Yeah, the
And
proper tells.
yeah, and he did. And halfway through the second one, he's like, "Does the effects get any better?" And I'm like,
Oh, man, that kid
"No."
needs schooling. Sort
Yeah,
him out.
I was like, "No, they get far worse in the next one because we get like digital lightning in 3." But hey, um, I am not a big fan of the Audrey character. I get it that she's meant to be this meek and mild girl who's beaten around and she loves Seymour and Seymour loves her, and I get it, but I just don't bond with that character at all. I'll be honest, I was rooting for Audrey 2 to eat her and Seymour go be famous.
You see, I have a different approach to with her character. I think she's very, very well developed throughout this movie. She's very much a timid mouse-like character up until the point where it's is it I always get the name of this song. Is it Simply Seymour? The
Yeah,
song Simply Seymour song where she keeps her timid tone throughout all of her vocal work up until that point, and then when we get to the Simply Seymour song and she goes full vocal Adele level shit with her vocal range, and it really showcases the growth of her character throughout this movie. And for me, I know we asked you earlier about what was your favorite song, and you went with the Feed Me Seymour one, but I think the Simply Seymour is for me my best and my favorite song of this entire movie, purely based around her character alone and how much it shows her growth and her sort of shedding herself from the domestic violence approach that she's suffered throughout the movie up until this point. It's a really impactful song, based purely upon her character alone. And she's an incredible vocalist. She's an actress. She's
Yeah.
actually a singer-songwriter away from this movie, which is obviously why they chose to cast her in this role. And she has done very little else apart from a couple of episodes of ER and shit like that in America. But that one particular song that she does really brings her character arc full circle for me. And I really love that song, not only because it showcases the relationship between the two of them coming to fruition, which is something that as an audience we've been championing throughout, but on so many levels it amplifies her character arc in such a way that you kind of sit back and be like, yeah, man, you go, girl, kind of thing. Like, you do it for you, you know, and I really love it for that.
Yeah, I get that from it, but I just don't vibe with that character. I don't know why. Like, one of my favorite scenes in this is where Audrey 2 uses the phone to call Audrey. Like, that is brilliant when
Yes.
like her and Seymour are going to run away, and Audrey 2, because she's like, Seymour, is that you? He's like, hey, no, bitch, it's not me. It's not Seymour. It's me. And then she looks out the window and he's like in the shop, like waving at her with the phone. Like, that is just fucking genius.
I love it when he holds it to his like fucking shell of a face.
Yeah, and like when she goes over, like the scene where Seymour arrives and like when the legs come out, he's like, I don't need you no more. And like the legs come out, and like this movie is the inspiration for the game Plants vs Zombies.
Oh,
And
yeah, definitely.
And like this character, Audrey 2, is a character in that game, effectively, if you've ever played that game. And like when his legs come out and then Seymour takes him down, like, I love all of that ending segment. But the crowning jewel on this for me is the tease of a sequel that we never get. So they retire to this, him and Audrey go to this wonderful little idyllic house, and you see them, like, he's mowing the lawn and she's making iced tea for him. And they pan back and they get to their lovely flower beds at the front. And there's just another Audrey bopping around. Like, that for me, I'm like, that's great. Give me a sequel where that plant's eating people who walk past. It goes into the house and it eats Seymour and it eats Audrey, and we get a second movie. I'd love that.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I love this movie for what it is, and I think its self-containment is perfect. I don't need any more from this. I don't feel like there's enough substance within this first movie to warrant a sequel necessarily.
And that would be reflected in the amount of time we've talked about it. We've pretty much covered everything of note, and we're only half an hour in.
Yeah, and I think that was one of my biggest gripes when I walked away from this. Is I love this movie. I remember watching this movie countless times when I was younger, but this time round, I was kind of done an hour in. You know, we'd done the big heavy hitter numbers. We'd kind of got the progression of most of the characters, and we still had half an hour to go. And I was like, I'm ready for this to wrap now. You know, I'm kind of there with where this movie is, and it kind of needs to tie itself up a little bit.
Yeah, see, for me, this was like a first watch again. So at that point, I was like, this is amazing. What's coming next? Like, I was as enthusiastic about this as I was when we watched Rocky Horror Picture Show. It had that same like energy and vibe. Like when this, like I watched this when Lisa was at work, and when Lisa come in, I was at the tail end, and she come in, she's like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Shh, shh, shh." Audrey's talking. Shh. Like I was at that level of investment in this movie. Shall we take a break?
Yeah, we can do, but I just want to state that like when you're comparing the two between this and Rocky Horror Picture Show, I think the two are incomparable, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Like, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a fucking phenomenal movie that progresses on a pace that works perfectly throughout the 90-minute duration of that film. This one, I don't think quite has the same level of magic as that Rocky Horror Picture Show does. Like, 60 minutes in, man, I was kind of there with it. I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, see, in truth,
there's nothing coming.
But I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that shocked me.
Did you really?
I really,
that shocks
really
me to know that.
Like, really loved this. Like, I need to watch Rocky Horror again because it's been a while since we've done that. But like watching this, I was like halfway through going, I like this more than Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I
Yeah,
loved that movie.
I can't vibe with you on that level. I don't think this holds a candle to what Rocky Horror Picture Show is. I think they're
Well,
both fantastic movies, but I just think on their own merits, Rocky Horror Picture Show is leagues above this.
Well, we'll take a break before we fall out on your last episode. When you finish this episode, head over to yourunpodcast.com and check out some of our other network members. There's Voices from the Mausoleum, your home for horror on YouTube. Everything from found footage to remakes to conspiracy theories. They even have a horror coffee morning. This is the place for you, so check out Voices from the Mausoleum. Also available on the You Run Podcast Network, the horror-friendly podcast hosted by Katie and Chantel. This hilarious horror movie review show covers horror movies from the past, the present, and even the future when they cover movies that are only at film festivals. This is a show you must check out. These and many other shows all available at yourunpodcast.com, so head to our website today. So be sure to head over to the website, yourunpodcast.com. You've got everything on there from all of the shows in the network. You've got our merchandise. You've got links to the movie we released last year. You've got links to our YouTube. You've got links to everyone else's. Like everything you need to entertain you for an entire week is available there. We've got 12 shows, part of the network, plus our own. There is enough weekly episodes for you to listen to 2 episodes or watch 2 episodes every single day of the week.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
This is the best one, though, but yeah.
That's not how the network works. We're all as good as each other.
I don't care. I'm in it for myself. We're the best. But if you've got time, check out everybody else.
Definitely check out everybody else. And like, oh man, I didn't know how I was going to use this soundbite, but I'm going to use it now.
The plant.
Let's do some facts. So, as part of the promotion for this film, Audrey 2, the plant, was interviewed in character, full puppet animatronic working. At least 3 occasions, Audrey 2 ate the interviewer at the end of the interview.
What?
So the puppet, Audrey 2, the animatronic,
Yeah.
would go on things like Late Night with Letterman or the equivalent at the time, be interviewed as the plant with the actor voicing the plant, and then at the end of the interview, the plant would eat the interviewer.
Oh, like it's like a bit.
Yeah, which I thought was.
I
really,
thought
really
you meant
cool.
like the plant had just gone like wayward and just started just eating interviewers.
No, the puppeteers who designed and operated Audrey 2 were veterans of the Jim Henson Company, both of which were not working, or all of which were not working for Jim Henson at the time. One of which was Brian Henson, Jim's son. So they were on a break from working for Jim Henson, had some time off, and done this. They got paid for it, but they done this as kind of like we can do that, and we can bring all the knowledge we've got from Jim Henson and make it great without the Jim Henson price tag.
And it shows. I immediately said to you at the beginning, like I hadn't done any research, but I'm pretty sure this is a Jim Henson thing.
One of the wildest facts in this. So the tools, the dentist tools that he unveils when he's about to attack Bill Murray, those exact tools appeared in another movie, in Batman 1989. They were the tools used on Jack Nicholson's face when he was dropped into the vat of chemicals.
Which would make sense considering Jack Nicholson was the star of the original Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, which I didn't know until this point, which just made that fact even cooler than it already was. So the song "Mean Green Mother" from Outer Space originally had it wasn't "Mean Green Mother," it was "Mean Green Motherfucker," and they were
That would
made.
be better.
Yeah, they were made to change it, and the reason they were made to remove it is because they wanted it to reach a wider audience. It was performed at the Oscar ceremony by Levi Stubbs with the full version, and the Oscars went fucking mental. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so they were at the Oscars a couple of years after this was released, and all of a sudden Audrey 2's broken out with "I'm a mean green motherfucker from outer space," and the Oscar, the Academy went, "Oh, what did you do?"
Fucking hell! Yeah, they were so tame over Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly that. The movie Aliens. So we know Aliens. James Cameron, excellent movie. Was shot at the same time in the adjacent studio at Pinewood Studios. They were filming Little Shop of Horror one side and Aliens the other side, which is really, really cool. So Aliens had an on-set accident and they were using live ammunition, which is very dangerous and no movie should do that. And when they were filming a scene on Little Shop of Horrors, all of a sudden 4 holes were blown in the set behind them as James Cameron offloaded live rounds into the Little Shop of Horrors set.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. Do they still do that? They still do that? Has nobody learned their lesson from movies like The Crow and Rust?
I think they don't anymore, and there's no need to use live ammunition now. Blanks and like CGI and overdubbing of sounds is more than ample. Like, watch The
But like,
Expendables.
you're an actor, like your whole career is based on pretend.
Yeah.
So like, just use a pretend gun.
The only time I think a live gun should or can be used is, take, for example, Halloween 2018, where Laurie Strode is at the shooting range. In that scenario, when she's at the shooting range, shooting at a target in a controlled environment, sure, use a real gun to give the authentic kickback. But any other time, like, you don't want to be waving a gun around towards anyone if it's loaded with live ammunition.
But the thing is, though, like, blanks are so authentic in terms of their replication of sound and things like that. Like, there's just no need. There is just no need to have live ammunition on set.
No,
Like,
there's
even in
really
the,
not.
like you say about the Halloween movie and using that scene in particular, but there's nothing to stipulate that that gun that she used in that particular scene would wind up on set on another scene, fully
Yeah.
loaded with a real bullet and go off and do serious damage, which is exactly what happened in The Crow.
Yeah, and Rust, and
and Rust.
I'm with you. It doesn't need to be used. There's no excuse for it. But the fact in 1986 it was a thing, and you imagine Rick Moranis like dancing around with Audrey 2, and all of a sudden fucking holes blowing in the wall behind him. Like I would love to see the footage of him going, "Holy fuck!" like diving on the floor like that. Just wild.
Yeah, insane. Really is.
In 1998, they released a special edition DVD that had an alternative ending where everybody died. So there's an alternative cut of this where every single character dies. Audrey 2 wins. The end. They pulled this off the shelves at rapid pace after they realized what they'd done, because they'd already planned a cinema release with the alternative ending. And their DVD distributor went, "Oh, we'll put the alternative ending in," and released like a couple of 100,000 copies. And they all of a sudden went, "No, no, 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 we're going back to like," and they recalled loads and tried to stop it getting out. So if you can get a copy, in fact, it was VHS. If you can get a VHS with the alternative ending, they're one of the rarest videos available.
I would love to go back and watch mine now. As soon as we finish recording tonight, I'm going to fucking play the lottery and see if my VHS copy is one of those rare ones with the alternative ending.
If you've got one with the alternative ending, they reckon there's less than 1,000 copies in circulation on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Value.
rare, super rare. So the gun used at the end where Seymour's firing at Audrey 2 is a Smith & Wesson Model 36, and it's capable of firing 5 rounds. Seymour unloads 13 rounds without reloading.
He's Dr. Loomis.
He is. He shot him 6 times. This is honestly the wildest fact that I found. So Bill Murray, after Ghostbusters in 1984, took a break from filmmaking. He actually officially retired from making films. He didn't want to make any more. He'd made his money. He was done. And then he come back for this as a favor to a friend. And he planned on retiring afterwards. Bill Murray, you did not do a good job of retiring after this.
No,
Like
he
awful
should have
job.
retired before Garfield.
Oh no, Garfield's great. Anyway, we put out a caption for this episode. But after watching the movie, I come up with such a good idea for a game that would only work on this episode that caption this isn't going to feature, and we're going to play this game instead because I'll never get to play this game again because it won't work anywhere else. Apologies for everyone who did give caption this. Thank you as well, because you had some great ones in there. But we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a game. So in this movie, Seymour is interviewed on a radio show where he does a show and tell, which, as I said earlier, is hilarious because you can't see what he's showing. So I'm going to show Mark some images, and Mark is going to go and try and translate that to our audio listeners. If you're watching on Spotify, or YouTube, you're cheating. You can see what he's looking at. But if you're listening somewhere else, you honestly will have no clue for the next 5 minutes what Mark's talking about. Like, I'm going to start with the
your
really
mind
easy
goes
ones.
to some strange places as well. This is going to be so weird.
I'm going to start with the easy ones, and I'm going to escalate to things that I can't even explain. So we're going to start. Are you ready first?
So what's my role in this? What do I have to do? Without do I say what it is, or do
Yeah,
I?
I put the image on the screen, and you explain to the listeners what you are looking at.
Right.
Okay, so we'll start with a really simple one.
Wow. It's a thing like a bat with no hair, big eyes, weird Ron Weasley hairstyle. I don't know. What even is that thing?
I have no idea, but you've done a reasonable job with that one. That was one of the easy ones. I'm going to show you this one, which this is wild for a number of reasons. The main reason because it is a real photo from the 1930s. Can you explain this to our listeners?
Okay, this is a picture of Winston Churchill at 3 years old, smoking a cigar, carrying a baseball bat, is all I can assume, tucked into his trousers.
How wild is that? That is a real photo of a toddler smoking a cigar.
Yeah, that is wild. That
Wild.
is wild.
Let's go with this one.
Okay, so if you imagine that you took a watermelon and scooped it out and made it into a helmet and then put goggles on it and then had a weird green cape, this would be the Green Goblin on a budget.
That's amazing. The budget Green Goblin. I need to make a Spider-Man movie with that Green Goblin in it. Right, this is where they start getting a little bit odd because they've not been already. Let's go
Other than
with
a watermelon helmet. Oh my god. Right. So if you take the movie Ice Age and you know you've got the weird little weasel rat that has the acorn that completely causes problems. Yeah, if you take Scrap but put him on a nuclear level where he could destroy the entire planet, that is exactly what I'm looking at right now. This is a squirrel on the most intense course of steroids I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. How about this one?
This is a massive weekend on drugs. That is all I can say. This is a Sunday morning after being out from a Thursday.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. And anyone who's curious what that is needs to go watch on YouTube or Spotify. You've got a couple more. Like this is where I went down a real rabbit hole into. I don't know where I was going. I apologize.
This is what budgie smugglers would be if it was putting an advert to stay away from people who have serious problems are also on a register.
I'll take that. This one's going to hurt your brain a lot.
What?
I'll give you a minute to process that.
I don't understand the physics of that and how
So, how would
this
you explain
this
that to the world?
this is a Korean human centipede.
Yeah, but it works for me. Now it gets really dark, and I'm sorry. To anyone who's watching this, I apologize.
How do you even this is probably going to appeal more to the UK audience than it will the American, but this is kind of what happens if Johnny Vegas had a baby with a tub of jelly.
In truth, this is the first photo of Mark growing his hair out.
Oh, you nasty, nasty man.
You've got 3 more, and I'm going to go with this one next.
Oh, the man. And if you know who the man is to me, then you know that this is the Lord Gandalf himself, wielding a shotgun. That would be a movie that I would watch.
It is an AK-47 instead of his staff. You're welcome.
I like
right.
that a lot.
You got 2 more. We're going to go with this one first. That, just so you know, that is not Photoshop. That's a genuine photo that exists.
No, it's not. That is not real.
It is real.
Gordon Ramsay in a generic dad barbecuing apron with what can only be described as onion testicles and a leek for a penis, wielding a Jason Voorhees machete. That the more I look at this picture, the more I'm disturbed by it.
The more you look at it, the worse it gets. Like the
It
initial
does,
shock
it really
is there,
does.
and then the more you investigate, it gets more painful. And the final one that I think will just leave you stunned is this.
What? That I don't even know how to process that. For somebody who has weird fetishes, this is going to be right up your alley. Dave B movies, probably watch this on Spotify. This might be your jam.
And that is the end of that game. I don't know if that will ever make a return, but I had fun with that. I hope everyone listening is really confused and it drives them to go and watch this on YouTube. And everyone who's watching this on YouTube and Spotify, I'm really sorry. I don't know I don't know how I went down that rabbit hole. But the order I showed those images is kind of the order I found them. And there were several other images that I'll send to you directly.
No, please don't. No, you're all right. You keep on.
That could not be aired on any platform anywhere. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what to say with that.
I don't feel like I need you to send me those. I'll be honest.
I'm going to take roundups first, as it's your last episode for a little while till next week. People are listening when you're back. I loved this. Like, it really got me from the opening, the set design. I love Rick Moranis. Like, this guy can do no wrong. He's never done a bad movie for me. When you throw in all these additional characters that I'm like, oh my God, it's Steve Martin. Oh my God, it's John Candy. Oh my God, it's Bill Murray. Like, that for me was like every 20 minutes, I got a nugget of another celebrity. And to see them all being so overly goofy and stupid, surrounded by these awesome practical effects and amazing songs. I love this movie. It is one of the best movies I've watched this year from an enjoyment level. It's really, really good. And I got my kids to watch it the following day and they really enjoyed it. I can't give anything but praise for this movie. It's a perfect score. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. Little Shop of Horrors is one of the most entertaining watches of the year by far.
That's a high score. I'm not quite on the same level as you with this movie. It's a difficult one because I know how important this movie is to a lot of lot of people. I've got weird hiccups at the moment. I don't know where they've come from. Apologies.
I'll play a soundbite where you deal with it. I'll play a soundbite. Here you go. And anyone who's curious, Mark is holding his breath and going very red.
I don't think that worked. Yeah, I don't know. I like this movie a lot. I really did, and I fucking hiccups, man. I really enjoyed my time with it, but after an hour in, I was kind of done. Do you know what I mean? Like I was ready for things to kind of wrap up and oh, man, these hiccups kind of get it. I can't. I don't know where they've come from. They've just all of a sudden just got me. I never
Hold
get
on.
hiccups.
Let me scare you. That'll scare you. That'll scare the hiccups away.
It's one of those things where you need to like really hold your breath to contain it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't have the time to do that, so I'll muster through. One of the biggest things that I really took away from this movie, hiccup, is how much I really miss Rick Moranis and how much I really wish he'd have not retired, because he's a great guy and everything he does is gold. It's a shame his tragic circumstances took him away from Hollywood, because I think there is a lot that he has to offer as an actor, especially in terms of his comedic abilities. I'm timing this quite well with my hiccups, to be honest with you. My words seem to be coming out.
Anyone who's watching, you'll see every time Mark pauses, he like jumps.
I don't know. I was just kind of, by the time we'd got to the end, I was kind of foxy. I was kind of done with where we were at. It was great. I love the songs, and this movie in general holds like a lot of nostalgia to me. My wife, she comes from like a really heavy musical background. She's a dance teacher by trade, and she's really big into musical theatre. We've seen this production a few times live, and it's fantastic. But I don't know. I was kind of done. I was kind of done an hour in, and it just felt like there was something that wasn't quite gripping me as much as the first act did, or at least the first two acts anyway. The casting's great. I love the aesthetics in terms of making it feel like a stage production translated to screen. That was really fucking hiccups. That was really, really cool. But I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I'm struggling here. Yeah, great. Not as great as I remember it being. It's a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And that feels insulting because I know the legacy that this movie holds. Oh man. Of all the times for me to like get stumbled with my words and get my kryptonite, it shouldn't be here in my roundup. You know how I like to ramble.
You do, but you can't. A huge thank you to everyone listening. A personal note for me for Mr. Hiccup over there, mate. Honestly, I hope everything goes great for you. For our listeners, you'll be back next week, but in the next 3 weeks between us recording now and this coming out, I'm sure you and me will talk a lot. I'm sure I'll be getting updates as Mark Mark MD live performs labor duties.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm over the moon for you. You're going to have a whale of a time. And we will see you next week for the listeners when you are sleep deprived, miserable, a little bit unhappy. But we'll be doing a really cool movie. It's going to be one of two, and I know this for a fact. Depending on when Mark's birthday falls, because we're not sure where we are in recording, it will either be Mark's birthday episode with the wonderful Sharknado 5.
Yes.
Sharknado back on the You Run podcast, or it will be our request from a couple of episodes, the Autopsy of Jane Doe. So whichever one of those episodes is next is going to be awesome. We'll catch you all next time. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Do you not want to expand? Like,
no, don't put that pressure on me, dude. I'm struggling here.
Okay, we'll see you all next week.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I turn into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies for murder and sin. The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts.